Our model is low cost, high value. We work smarter, not bigger. We're happy with those partnerships. There's nothing better than spending someone else's money on our ground, and we've got a lot of ground to spread around to prospective joint venture shareholders.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. Joining me is Alchemy Resources CEO James Wilson. James, very good to meet you. For viewers not familiar with the company, could you give us a brief introduction to Alchemy Resources?
Yeah, hi Stephen. Alchemy is a small Western Australia and New South Wales focused explorer. We've got a fairly broad focus. I'll explain about that in a moment. Multi-commodity, but it consists of a pretty solid base, we think, of mature exploration assets and joint ventures. Obviously, our point of difference is that whilst a lot of other explorers are looking for opportunities, Alchemy already has a lot of projects that are advanced, and we aim to unlock those tenement potential through smart partnerships and nimble exploration.
Take us through your most advanced projects, James, and how you're progressing with those.
Sure, there's a couple actually at the pointy end of our project pipeline at the moment. At Karonie in Western Australia, this is just east of Kalgoorlie in the most prolific gold producing district in Australia. We've got 111,000 ounces of gold resources sitting on the ground right next to the Vault Minerals mines there at Aldous. At the same time, we've got a $6 million earn-in and joint venture with JOGMEC on the lithium on the same ground, the Japanese government resources arm. So it's very good to have them on board, and it's a validation of the project potential. In the Bryah, looking north of sort of Meekatharra, which is a few hundred kilometres north of Perth, we've got two assets. One is iron ore. It's outcropping hematite, rock chips of 65% iron. I haven't seen those kind of grades in the hands of a junior since forever. Obviously now everybody's looking at sort of lower grade ores. It's a standout project. It's mapped over 2 kilometres. It's a near-term asset to go and drill there. We recently acquired the other 50% of that from our joint venture partner for a royalty and a small cash payment. Next door to that is a joint venture with Catalyst Metals, actually, $1.6 billion gold miner. They're on the other side of the fence to that asset. It's great to have them as a joint venture partner. They're operator of that, and we have a 20% free carried interest. And perhaps most exciting is our New South Wales assets. We have 342,000 ounces of gold equivalent resources because it's gold, copper, zinc, lead, silver, polymetallic resources as you find over there. And just 20 kilometres south of that, we have our Yellow Mountain project, which has MOIC samples from the old mines that were there, up to 28% copper sampled. And we've got in situ grades of copper, of 2% copper and 2 and a bit grams gold sticking out of the ground. And this is something we really, really want to drill. No one's ever drilled that since the 1970s, and we've unlocked all the permitting, and we're weeks away from drilling that.
You're actually out with an update last week on the Roe Hills project. So you've identified 3 high priority areas for follow-up. Take us through the next steps there.
Yeah, well, it's been a lot of work since we actually did the joint venture with JOGMEC back in, it was approved by the Foreign Investment Review Board back in December 2024. We hit the ground running, spent roughly close to $1 million on that within 4 months, especially with Christmas in the way. That was obviously quite a difficult task to achieve, and a lot of work in the meantime with magnetics, remote sensing, LiDAR, high resolution microwave scanning of the environment to sort of really sort of stand out those pegmatites, a lot of mapping and a lot of soil sampling. And now we've got to the stage where we've done all the mapping, all the groundwork, all the preparation work. Targets have now been generated. They're big ones. There's 3 sort of up to 6 by 2 kilometres long. The guys were on the ground last week validating those, and now we're into the drill planning phase. So we're hopeful probably in the next couple of weeks to month or 2 we'll be on the ground drilling there as well.
James, can you take us through your strategy on the joint venture partners and how that helps you to progress the projects perhaps faster?
Yeah, well, we're obviously not a one-trick pony here at Alchemy. We have 2 near-term assets with a good sticking out of the ground. Obviously, the iron ore has development potential. It's on a mining lease. It has native title extinguished as well, and it's got a open sort of mineralization sticking out of the ground. So once we drill that, we could actually progress that to being hopefully a mining phase if it's economic. But we're also cognizant that we're not miners. So we do entertain those people who are much better at that job than us. And I'd rather have a percentage of something that's in good hands to go forwards, which Alchemy shareholders can benefit from financially, than trying to push it through as an exploration company, trying to sort of go over that hurdle to become a miner near term. Obviously, this can be something that sort of accelerates if we find something big enough. Our model is low cost, high value. We work smarter, not bigger. We're happy with those partnerships. There's nothing better than spending someone else's money on our ground, and we've got a lot of ground to spread around to prospective joint venture shareholders. So, there's a lot of that model going around. Obviously, at some point, if we find something big that we can sort of run it all alone, then that's great. But at the moment, these sorts of models work for the small explorers like us.
And you also have quite a bit of cash of your own, James. So you ended March with $1.89 million in cash. How does that help support your projects going forward?
It certainly helps when there's cash is hard to find in a market for the junior exploration space too. Yeah, so we can certainly finance the near-term drill programs in the Bryah with the iron ore, and certainly the Yellow Mountain. Obviously, at some point, that money does eventually run out, but we can certainly finance our near-term exploration objectives very easily.
And James, the sort of news flow your investors should be looking out for in the short to medium term?
Yeah, well, with a bit of like our high priority target is Yellow Mountain. Our dozer is on standby. We're just waiting on one of the final boxes to get checked on that. And we'll have the dozer in fixing up the road so the drill rig can get in. And we would hope Yellow Mountain would be, the next couple of weeks or so. It's obviously drill rig dependent and people dependent. And then right after that, we'll be drilling the Bryah iron ore. And at the same time, we should be drilling the lithium. So technically, sort of within the next 3 to 6 months, we'll have 3 drill programs on 3 very advanced assets.
Well, James, I hope you'll keep us posted on your progress. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
I will do. Thank you, Stephen.
James Wilson, the CEO of Alchemy Resources.